My last two questions is more around the program itself.
Mm.
So one of the Australia Awards Africa's end of program goals um, states that alumni should be using their new skills, knowledge, and attitude, to contribute to gender equality.
Mm.
So do you have some ideas that you think we as a program can do to help us to
Mm.
achieve this goal?
Yes, for me, I think how this program I participated in personally aligned with my career goals was because it was centered on gender development, which was a field that I am engaged in. One of the skill sets we mostly lack when we are going on this awards program is gender. Gender is not something that is introduced in most of our curriculum at the undergraduate level. So I think one key thing that awards must ensure that is done to ensure gender equality is mandatory gender courses, gender and feminist courses, because at that level that people's awareness level and the consciousness raising happens, the resistance in those spaces, because then you are supposed to learn and it's supposed to be part of your grades to be able to graduate. It's key getting that knowledge. Also ensuring that people's thesis and work plan on return at least have an objective that addresses gender equality issues is critical, because then it goes beyond learning theory into practice. And
Yeah.
periodic assessment of people's progress and also building capacities around gender equality periodically is important, because narratives change, new theories come up. So how does the award incorporate that into that? Work plan on return there must be a mandatory requirement to have a gender perspective and a gender analysis. So as part of the capacity building programs that the awards had. So the grants that I won with for the Small Grants Award, we had with Australia Alumni in Ghana, we had a session on gender sensitive workplace interaction. So how can the awards also have similar programs that help them address issues that are close to the experiences and opening up their minds to know that these are the things and this is where gender is situated in those spaces? I think it will be critical, because the lack of knowledge is critical and critically aligned with why most people may struggle to want to implement it back home. So how do you build the capacity and skills once they are on the program? And then when you come back, how do the activities that they engage in guide them in the implementation of the knowledge that they have acquired? It's very important and very critical, yes. And then in the policy interventions, in selection of people that go on these awards is also the gender lens and the gender policy. So which kind of people are we sending on this program? Where are they located? In looking at where they are located, mostly you will not find women, because then what we have realized that women come to academia late. So one good thing about the awards and this gender equality is the age limit, which is quite expansive so that women are able to fall in. But how do you also make sure that the collaboration, the partnership that is built, and who is going and where they are located and how they can implement the knowledge when they come back, I think it's very important. It's one way the awards can ensure gender equality is sustained over the year.
Yeah. I'm glad to say that the program, are doing many of the things that you say.
Yeah.
Just this morning, my colleague had a session with the current scholars on what we call the JETSI series that runs throughout the year. And they had the last session for the year this morning.
Mm,
Yeah.
great.
My last question is, similar to this, but it's more around advice. So what advice to our alumni, both men and women, and do you have about small changes that they can make in their lives to contribute to gender equality?
Thank you. One thing they have to understand is that gender equality is not misandry. It does not mean that you hate men, that assuring equality is for the development and functionality of society. When you have women and men at the table, it brings inclusive perspective. So, and then making a change in gender equality must not always be at the broader level. It starts with practical, simple things, the language you use in interacting with your colleagues, your female colleagues. How do you address them? How do you perceive them? If you see them, especially in the workplace, as useless hire, you will not engage their intellectual abilities and what they bring to the table. So these are people that can equally contribute. How do you make input as a decision maker, especially with the men that go on these programs, they come back and they occupy high positions. How do you implement the knowledge you've acquired at the workplace that women are not just there to serve tea? So people raise issues, language, workplace language, architecture of the workplace. Where are women located? How can you help them make sure that at your home, how do you ensure that the socialization? Because everything that happens in the bigger society starts from home. So how can you start in your small place, in your home, around your friends, the workplace, the language, the opportunities that you give women and men, and how you interact? When you are in certain spaces and there are certain conversations that are being had, and they are derogatory that speaks it, like seems to place another group below a certain strata, how do you make sure you understand that everybody can contribute, especially around Jetty, which is one good thing that is also a skill that I got when I was on a program, disability, and how it makes it inclusive. How do you see your colleagues that have disabilities? For the fact that a person has disability does not mean that they don't have the skill or what it takes. So the little things, but key is how you approach people. This is how you can make the change. When a person in a position of authority says something and it's wrong, you can actually go and say, well, did you think about it this way? And all that. These are the small steps. But then I will call on our male colleagues who are mostly in higher positions and authorities that can implement some of these things to come on board as allies and understand that they have a critical role to play in gender equality. And it's not just a woman-only agenda. The gender equality is not a women-led activity. It's a general goal that seeks to ensure that all our issues are addressed, and then there's the benefits that comes to all of us. Maybe with this level of awareness, it can make it easy for us to be able to achieve what we want. So we can start equally from our various alumni associations. How do we interact with women? Where do we place them in positions, in elections? What kind of positions are we giving these women? What do our constitutions say? And in these spaces, what kind of trainings do we have? And these are some of the ways, I think, simple terms that we can address some of these issues before we move to the bigger stages where it requires or comes with a lot of resistance.
Yeah. Well, that's all from my side. Amanda, I don't know whether there's something else, something final that you want to say.
I think I would say thank you to the awards program. And it's been amazing, the opportunities it has offered those of us who have been on the program. And one beautiful thing I realized with this awards program is also the sustained contact, that you ensure that you follow up with alumni. Yeah. It's one great tool that keeps people on their toes, the contacts that we have also with our country. So I would say thank you for the opportunities. Thank you for what you're doing for us and also the future generation. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, those networks and links are very important.
Yes.
So to our listeners, thanks for watching once again, and please give us your feedback at alumni@australiaawardsafrica.org. And please remember to update your personal and contact information on our alumni contact register on our website at australiaawardsafrica.org. Thank you. Goodbye.